With Ron Richardson on WBOK 1230 AM, streaming worldwide on WBOK1230.com. And I would like to welcome you to another great episode of Conversations with Ron Richardson. And this week, we have two of my favorite people in the building, as well as my new co-host. We have Miss Sonia Jean Milliman. How are you?
I am good, as always.
How have you been?
Life is lifing. We got some fights on our hand right now, so I've been really busy being my nice, quiet, activist self. But anyways.
All right. Sonia Jean Milliman. We also have Tamasha Lee. How you doing, Tamasha?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. And we also have my L.W. Higgins classmate and a person who I haven't seen in about 20-something years, Miss Latoya Chanel. How are you? All right, let's see if we get your mic up. Hold on. All right, there we go.
Can you hear me?
Let's see. Try it again.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay. Yes,
All right.
Great.
Miss Latoya Chanel, man, we got to get it right. So how have you been?
I've been doing good.
All right. So today we're going to be talking about HIV and AIDS and decriminalization of HIV and AIDS. And I brought you in, Sonia, because you're an HIV/AIDS ambassador, and you do a lot of things in the community of Baton Rouge and beyond. And Tamasha, I also brought you in because you're known as a HIV. What is it?
HIV prevention mobsters.
Yeah, HIV prevention mobster.
And she is.
Yeah, Latoya is going to be co-hosting with me, talking about issues and different things like that today. So, ladies, welcome. So, Sonia, for those who need a little refresher, why don't you introduce yourself and tell the people why you're here? We're going to just go around the room.
Sonia Milliman. I am originally from about 60 miles south of Buffalo, New York. I came down to this lovely state on vacation to spend it with my daughter and son-in-law. When I went home, I was living with HIV. I had protection. It broke. And I did not know about PrEP. I did not know about PEP. If I would have, I could have gone within 72 hours of that condom breaking, gone to the clinic, and I could have taken PEP, and the HIV wouldn't have been replicating in my body, and I wouldn't be living with HIV right now.
Right.
But there was a purpose behind it. And I am thriving, undetectable. 3 weeks after I started my medication, that's the importance of starting medication early. I could not harm anybody after 6 months of being undetectable. I still cannot transmit HIV to another human being because I am undetectable, which means my viral load is under 200 milliliters. So I packed up 45 years of my life and moved down here to do this work, to change it, because in 2017, I thought it was insane that people were still acquiring HIV. Here we are, 2025, and people are still acquiring HIV. They still are lacking access to care. They're not going to be worried about their health if they don't have housing, if they don't have food. We have to make a change, and it has to start with social justice.
Yes.
It has to start with housing. It has to start with access with care. I actually fell into a great job working as a harm reduction and prevention coordinator. We run a Be Safe syringe program. It's the only one in Baton Rouge. Harm reduction works. Harm reduction works. I'm going to say it as loud as I can. Harm reduction comes everywhere.
And it
You
does.
put your dang seatbelt on every day you go out there in traffic. That's harm reduction. We are not doing anything risky by having sex. I hate the word because everything we do in daily life can affect us in a risky way. I am not infected. HIV is just kind of coating a ride with me. So they're like stigma in words, like language justice is a big thing. Narcan is a big thing. It saves many lives.
Yes.
I really push for people just to use that harm reduction, whether it be condoms, because, again, condoms break. I wasn't worried about it. I was 45 years old when I acquired HIV.
Right.
45.
Right.
I was only worried about that I couldn't get pregnant no more, to be honest.
Right.
I wasn't even thinking about it. Definitely didn't Google Baton Rouge in 2016, because otherwise I probably wouldn't have done anything down here. But I did, and there was a reason for it.
Right.
I was doing everything I could to not acquire HIV, and I still did, which means that the loudmouth he gave me I can use it to be a Trojan horse because people want to judge me by how I look until I open my mouth.
Yes.
So I can get into places that some people cannot, and I can open up that door and swing that door wide open and allow everybody to follow me in.
Mm-hmm.
That's my goal. And if anyone that has the privilege that I have, if you're not going to join us and fight with us, sit down and never mind. Anyways, shut up.
You
I'll
always
be clear. I'll be kind today.
you
I'm
always
sorry.
give me one when you come on the show, and I gotta keep my
I tried. I
finger
held
on
it
the
in.
bleep button. All right, but it's all good.
I held it in, but that's me in a nutshell. And I'm just here to make sure that people are still living and surviving as a surviving person who used, as a surviving and thriving person who has been unsheltered and who is living with HIV.
Yeah.
We all deserve to have a right to be here. And I'm going to fight every step. And there is no such thing as an illegal alien in this country. We are all immigrants. Thank you.
Ooh, I saw what you
today?
did. I saw what you did there. So we gotta. But so I'm gonna kick it over to Masha. Introduce yourself.
Okay. We'll go this way.
So, where do we begin? Okay, so I'm Tamasha, and currently I serve as the HIV program director at St. John. We are a faith-based organization that joined the HIV fight 3 decades ago, when there was a call for for a faith-based community to get involved. So we are a church that passes out condoms. We are a church that does HIV testing. We are a church that passes out Narcan. We are a church that does outreach, presentations, advocacy, not just for HIV, but one of the things we've realized when we're doing this HIV work, that there's a lot of things we need to address that, in terms of the needs of the community. So that's housing, fair treatment, racism, food insecurity, or just the terms we may use, or starving, or people not eating, things like that. And what I tell folks as well is, when you go to a church is expected to take care of everything. So we are here to serve, but one of our specialties is providing HIV services.
Right.
Love it. Love it. She's
And,
a rock star. I'm telling you. She's a rock star.
Miss Latoya.
Ladies, I will say, I like to give people their flowers when they are here. One, Sonia, I commend you. You are a survivor.
All right, so I'm gonna need you to use another mic because we can hardly.
baby.
Yeah, you use her.
We'll share. All right, can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. No, I said first I like to give people their flowers while they're here, and I said, Sonia, I commend you. You are beautiful in spirit and beautiful face to face, and I commend all that you've been
Coming
doing.
close a little bit.
I commend everything that you've been doing around the world. And Miss Tamasha, that's a whole other conversation for you, because I really would like to know how it looks in modern day Christianity, passing out condoms at a church.
That's a church.
But that's a whole other conversation. But
We can talk about it. Though.
Definitely.
Latoya, and I started out in OBGYN as
Okay.
a practice manager. And I was a broken woman at that time, a married woman with twins. And all I knew is that another woman shouldn't have to go through what I was going through.
Mhm.
So what I did was helped heal other women while I was healing, and became a Christian counselor at that time. But it was so many different broken women. So I held educational classes of different kinds. Of course, I had to be in a room sometimes with the doctor to provide results.
Yes.
HIV was one of those things that came through, and I did learn that people can have healthy pregnancies and healthy babies, and babies not contract HIV. So even just being in the room with you all, I'm thankful for that. But after that, that actually took me into a different space to be focused more on health and wellness, where I became an advocate, and still today I am.
We appreciate you.
And one of the things I love about you, Latoya, you've been on, many of my different platforms. You do advocate for women like it's your last breath, and that's one thing that we have to keep doing. And I always say
Yes,
that,
it's needed.
if we don't advocate for ourselves, who's going to advocate for us? Right. Whether you be differently able, whether you're suffering with a chronic illness like HIV or whatever, you have to advocate for yourself. Yeah.
my thing is if we don't advocate and save our black queens, then none of us are going to be all right.
Mm.
Because we came from black queens, which means if we don't save and make their life worth living
Right.
and protect them, then none of the rest of us are going to make it either. And that's what most people don't understand in this world. Just wanted to put
So,
that.
Sonia, what's going on in the world of HIV and AIDS?
Well, actually, right now I'm supposed to be in a strategic planning retreat
Mm-hmm.
for LCCH, Louisiana Coalition on Criminalization and Health. Um, we're really busy right now. We're actually fighting a bill that wants to come through to criminalize all STIs that are incurable: HSV, HIV, Hep B, and HPV are the ones that are on this bill. It's the second time this bill has been brought. It's the second time we have fought against it. There's now the second task force. Well, the first task force for this essential bill. You cannot prove directionality with HPV.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot prove directionality of HSV. In most cases, it's harder than anything to prove directionality with HIV, even.
Yeah. And
So-
for clarity, HSV is you talking about herpes.
Herpes.
Mhm.
So a cold sore.
Yeah.
A cold sore. And we're
Right.
not talking transmission either. This
Mhm.
bill was talking exposure. So that means I have a cold sore. We're sitting this close. I touch my mouth and we touch on the table. She could have me arrested for exposing her to herpes.
Mm-hmm.
Or-
Seriousness.
yes,
and
yeah.
and the first original bill was asking that it was a
Oh,
felony,
yeah. Mhm.
15 years jail time on the sexual offender list. In the very original bill, she wanted, when you were released from prison, to wear an ankle bracelet for the rest of your life.
Really?
So basically a modern day scarlet letter.
Really?
So we fought it. It got pulled the first year. It got pulled this time, but there's a task force. We're working on it. So this weekend, I'm actually at a strategic planning trying to figure out
Yes.
where we go forward with this.
Mhm.
Because, we all want to protect each other, but there's ways and means to do that. And, once a bill goes through like that, the person that's actually trying to be protected by it is really going to be then put in harm's way for the exact same charge to be put against them. And I don't think some people think about that. I'm a person living with all three of the four that she has up. Like,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
so where does that leave me in anything? So, anyone that acquired any of these viruses under, say, sexual assault, basically this bill wants this woman to go back and relive that trauma every time that she has to disclose to a partner that how she acquired it, or that she acquired it. And everybody, I don't care who you are, everybody goes, well, how'd you get that?
Mm-hmm.
Or how'd you catch that? Baby, it's not nothing. None of them are fly balls. We didn't catch anything.
Right.
But it just, how is that helping a woman who's been traumatized?
Mhm.
It's not. Or a man, honestly. It's not. It's making them relive it every single time. How about, like, the fact of me, HIV is scientifically proven I cannot harm another soul. So why do I have to go through and disclose every single time when I cannot harm a soul? Some people can't get to undetectable, but they're still taking precautions. So why are no other medical anything, health issue is criminalized? None of them. So why are we doing STIs? And I'm sorry, but almost everyone's walking around with HSV, and almost everybody, and women are the only ones that get tested for HPV, which means even though you're trying to protect women, women are the only ones that can be charged with exposing HPV because we're the only ones tested for it. So we're the only ones that have knowledge that we have it. Again, how is that protecting us as women?
Yeah.
All right.
Criminalization
what's your thoughts?
is not well to me.
Because I know you've been following it, Tamasha.
Yeah,
so-
but I've contacted that politician. So criminalization, yeah, I said some words. So,
Yes,
but
baby, thank you.
because Louisiana, we like to lock them up. So we deserve more than prison and badges. I like one of the mayors from Chicago that said that. So we deserve more than that. We deserve uh, information, resources, and understanding of what people are doing and why, and
Right.
just conversations and solutions,
Mm-hmm.
and just understand that things happen even though we don't like the results or the consequences of it.
Right.
Because even with cures for chlamydia and gonorrhea, we still have the most cases. just about what that puts us in the top 5. So you have cures for certain
Now
STIs
this is in Louisiana,
in
correct?
Louisiana. Like
Yeah.
Louisiana, one of the latest statistics, we had 30-some thousand cases of chlamydia. And so that puts us in the top 1, 2, 3 all the time. As far as cases, and similar to when you look at the rates. So there's a deeper thing that we need than other than criminalization. Like you keep locking people up for what? You in prison talking about I'm in here because man I got chlamydia. That doesn't even sound right.
Right.
We talk about the need for treatment and resources and education, information, access to all of that. And then also we have to take accountability for our behaviors as well and teaching how to do that versus, we gonna lock you up and you scared to disclose. So yeah, that's one thing. And another thing we're doing out here as far as providers and the service in general is trying to survive with providing the services. I mean, we're getting an email saying that Congress is about to wipe the whole entire program out. So from Ryan White to HI, anything that's government funding, they're looking to wipe that out completely. So you won't have that service that focuses on HIV, STIs, and things like that. So just imagine what that look like, not only for Louisiana, but for the rest of the U.S. So there's a lot of advocacy and fighting, beyond us. You seen us testing and passing out condoms and things like that. So there's a lot of fighting for the people. Whether you are vulnerable to HIV transmission or not,
Right.
or you living with HIV or not, but there's a service because HIV is here, just like COVID is here, just like diabetes is here.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a health issue we have to deal with, especially in the impoverished and the marginalized populations.
Right.
If you ain't got no money, they don't want to hear you.
Right.
But even if you got money, if you ain't the right color, they don't want to hear you.
Ooh.
So that's things we're
Right.
fighting for, in general. And when you fight for HIV, you fight for a lot of other things, like the housing, like the health, like women's health, like treatment, like access to everything, mental health, addiction, counseling. Off the top of here, all of those things that's needed, and even waking up the insurance providers. Like if Medicaid goes, then a lot of other things goes as far as coverage. We back to
Right.
having unaffordable health care.
Right.
And nobody has the health care. So when you start eliminating help, and I'm in and say, the government is here to help.
Mm-hmm.
You're here to help. So I mean, every dollar ain't supposed to go to war or the defense budget.
Yeah.
Or your boys golfing habits. You get what I'm saying? So you got to watch when preacher's daughter starts
All
talking
right,
because we can't
all right.
stop. But yes.
Yeah. All right. So Latoya, what are your thoughts?
Oh, it's a lot to ingest, to even digest. But one of the things that I do recall one of you saying is that we all deserve a right to be here, and I believe it was Sonya, and that is true. It's not about the color of skin, and this is just me. Nobody has to believe it, and I don't try and push my beliefs on anyone.
Mm-hmm.
There is no white or black race. We are a human race. That's how
Right.
we were created.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
there should not be any division. And yes, you deserve a right to be here. I deserve a right to be here. Ron deserves a right to be here.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't matter what you're living with, what it is
Mm-hmm.
that how you look, where you come from. We are all human. We should not be at war with one another. But that's what the government that's supposed to help us create. That's a whole tactic in itself. But with wellness comes like with HIV, and we mentioned herpes and HPV, things of that nature. We also have to be mindful as well, because doctors will prescribe medication, in which it is needed.
Mm-hmm.
Certain things work, but we have to be mindful of what and how much of it that we're consuming, because it's the exposure. But you have it here, but pharmacia medicine is here to keep them in business. So those are things we must also be mindful of as well. But it's a lot, but it's great conversation so far.
All right, man. We did the first segment already. We got a lot more coming up. This is Conversations with Ryan Richardson on WBOK 1230 AM, streaming worldwide on WBOK1230.com. Remember, guys, if you want to catch me, You can search for me on Facebook. Just search for the Ron Richardson Facebook page. You can also find me on Instagram. Just search for Ronald_Richardson_Jr. on Instagram. You can find out everything you need to know about yours truly. Conversations with Ron Richardson. We got a lot more we got to talk about. We'll be right back after this. Coming up in this second segment, we got my girl, Miss Angie Boo, Angela Mitchell, joining in on the conversation to express her thoughts and opinions on this very important topic that we're talking about today. We'll be right back after this. Stay tuned. Hit us up, 504-582-9422.
Hit us up.
504-582-9422 if you guys want to talk to the ladies. We'll be right back after this. Stay tuned.
I'm Leo Jackson, host of Sunday Gospel here every Sunday morning, 5 a.m. to 7 p.m. and 12 o'clock till 2 p.m. You don't want to miss this move of God. It happens only on WBOK. You listen to all day long.
Are you looking for the next burlesque sensation? Searching for some prime entertainment on a Sunday night? Well, come down to the Always Lounge as Scarlett Letta presents Show Me Your Noobs. You'll see the finest new entertainers performing burlesque, drag, and a variety of acts that will tease, titillate, and delight you. We're here every third Sunday of the month. Come catch the most raved about show in New Orleans that no one has ever heard of until now. Show Me Your Noobs. It's the perfect night out, whether you're a burlesque regular or sharing your first time with us. Show Me Your Noobs will leave you breathless.
Real issues, real talk, real solutions. Miss an episode of The Reality Check? You can catch every episode anytime. Search WBOK Media on your favorite podcast app to tap the bold commentary, real-time reactions, and powerful perspectives from the people and leaders shaping our city. Download, share, and rate it 5 stars because the real ones always stay informed.
Hey family, Ron Richardson here, host of Conversations with Ron Richardson. If you're looking for quality catering and barbecue, you need to contact my friends at Kuzan's Catering and Barbecue Team. Mr. Eddie Bunch and Kuzan's have been serving the West Bank since 2013 with their quality selection of barbecue and seafood. If you're looking for quality catering, be sure to contact Kuzan's Catering, located at 618 Westwood Drive in Marrero, or you can go to kuzansonline.com for more information for all the services that they offer, or call 504-233-4227. Catering done the right way just for you. That's Kuzan's, baby.
New Orleans, you want to know what we're talking about? Tune in every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on WBOK for Conversations with Ron Richardson. The topics will always be hot and the conversation will be all the way live. Meet us there. We'll save you a seat. We can also talk about you and your business as a sponsor of Conversations with Ron Richardson. Contact Ron at 504-874-4584 or email him at richardsonronald024@gmail.com for more details.
Hey WBOK 1230 family, this is Angie from the Sincerely Angie podcast. Make sure you're tuning in every Saturday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. to Conversations with Ron Richardson, where the conversations are all the way live and informative. Conversations with Ron Richardson every Saturday on WBOK 1230 a.m.
WBOK online at WBOK1230.com.
It's the place where we can be open and honest about real life issues. You're listening to Conversations with Ron Richardson, live on WBOK and online at WBOK1230.com.
Welcome back. This is Conversation with Ron Richardson on WBOK 1230 AM, streaming worldwide on WBOK1230.com. Remember, guys, if you want to catch me on the go, you can search me on Facebook. Just search for the Ron Richardson Facebook page. You can also find me on Instagram. Just search for Ronald_Richardson_Jr. on Instagram. If you want to talk to us today, drop us a line. Give us a call, 504-582-9422, 504-582-9422. And I have my girl, Sonia Jean Milliman. What's going on, man?
Hey, baby, I'm in heaven right now. I'm
All
sitting
right.
here with some beautiful queens. I'm all good.
We're talking about HIV and AIDS and prevention and decriminalization. That's a long word.
Shoot, it's a long fight. You know, this state only changed slavery into being in jail and incarceration. That's their whole goal, is to keep everybody down. So we just
You-
got to fight stronger.
You going at it there, right?
Baby, every day.
And we have Tamasha Lee. What's going on?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for having us here.
All right. We also have my LW Higgins class of 2003.
Why he got to put
Wait
that
a
year
minute.
on there?
Right, it's not on two. But hey, everyone thought I was a part of that class.
Definitely did.
we
I feel like that.
we still number one. And Angie can attest.
Yeah,
to
that O2
Hey,
something serious.
I'll let you all have it. I'll give you all your props because school was not the same after you all left. I was sad. I went into a silent grieving.
I can believe it.
There's only a few of us, the three of us, that understand what we're talking about
Yeah.
in this room. But Angie, welcome.
Hi.
She's back with me, and we're just talking about, man, just overall women's health and how we can stop the spread and prevent HIV and AIDS from affecting so many people. So Sonia, you were saying something before the break. I want you to continue that statement.
Oh, God, remind me.
Yeah, you were talking about just how we can prevent and what we needed to do as people to keep up the fight with HIV and decriminalization of HIV.
Babe, we just got to pay attention, open our minds, open our eyes, and advocate. And I'm going to say, as myself, I have had stigmatizing things happen to me, especially in doctor's offices, literally like 3 weeks ago.
Coming to your mic a little bit.
3 weeks ago, I went in to have my wound on my leg looked at, and the nurse was sitting at the desk in front of the computer, and her assistant was standing next to her, and she reaches over, taps the assistant, and points at the computer. And I instantly said, "Oh, yeah, by the way, I have undetectable HIV. I just spoke at a presentation on stigma and how stigma kills. You want to talk about silence? Silence." And I said it to the next week I went in because, you get, they rotate. You get the same two in rotation. And I said something the next week about what happened, and lo and behold, I haven't had those two again that did that. But is it going to stop them from stigmatizing someone else and someone that doesn't have a voice? What will that do to them? Will that stop them from going in and getting treatment because they know they're going to be stigmatized? We have to think about it in everyday life and everything we do to remember that other people have things going on also, and don't judge a book by its cover, because you never know what's really going on inside somebody. And just educate yourself, y'all. Putting people in prison for every little thing isn't going to help us. It's not going to help us at all. And honestly, I'm just tired of them using incarceration as another form of slavery.
Yeah.
Because that's all they're doing in this state.
Right.
This state incarcerates twice as many people as the country. Yeah. That's insane. That's insane. And using your health, all these people that want to push for all of us living with HIV to be in jail, they didn't want to hear shit when we were talking about putting them in for coughing on us and giving us COVID.
All right. We got to backtrack. Yeah. All right.
But
so,
again,
listen.
So again, it just, HIV, you got to educate yourself, and along with everything else, Hep C, any of it.
So I, not to cut you off,
baby,
but just
talk, please.
just to kind of give you an example, when I ask people to think about stigma, how many of you are gung ho all in for breast cancer awareness? You tend to get your hands up. Mm-hmm. So if I say, well, what about the HIV walk? Or what about the domestic violence walk? Mm-hmm. The hands are less.
Yeah.
So
why is that? Why?
You got to ask the people that don't raise their hands.
Stigma.
So that's an example of stigma, because you're not ready to address, participate, or support certain things because you don't think it applies to you, or it's a better look.
Yeah.
You're more sympathetic for breast cancer. You're more sympathetic for education awareness. And it all needs to be there, because my mom, I have breast cancer running through, my family, so to speak, for lack of terms. And I have to do 2 mammograms and MRI per year because of the risk that runs through my
Because it's
family.
in family, right?
But also, while I'm doing that testing, I'm also doing my HIV testing. But the way HIV and the other STDs or STIs are frowned upon, then you have a different reaction, from the politicians to the people. Like coming from a faith-based perspective, I'm like, you got all pink on, where's the purple?
Right.
Where's the teal for sex trafficking? Where's the red for HIV awareness? So those tough subjects that we need to address, because we have to address the big elephant, all the animals in the room.
Right.
So if we're not ready to address that for whatever reasons, because it don't look right, we're not educated to do it, it brings trauma, that means we need to address those things to help us address the big elephants and all the animals in the room.
Yeah.
So when we don't, then we start to stigmatize, stereotype, et cetera, et cetera. Going back and forth with this recent assassination, when I was like, I have no sympathy, one of the comments was like, I hope you get HIV like the field you work in.
Right.
So it's being used as a weapon. It's not like, oh, I hope you get breast cancer. Or you get what I'm saying? So as a target, as a weapon, and I let them have it. But but just to give you an idea of what stigma looks like in real time. And I know some things, even in the HIV field, there's wording and terminology that we have to adjust and make sure we're being thoughtful to the next person. Just like you don't want to call the black person the N-word because that's stereotypical.
Yeah.
So we have to learn what's the appropriate terms and terminology and the changes of things as well. So that's improving stigma or reducing stigma in this field and in general. Like black women don't want to be called girls.
Right.
Because that's something to us. Grown women.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Of
we
course,
don't want to
right.
be called females. So
Right.
that's improving how you treat black women. I'm saying that because we have women on the panel.
Right.
And Sonya, she don't want to be called a cracker. Right. You get what I'm saying? So I'm just saying that in real terms or real time, this is how you improve your knowledge, your education, and just how you're interacting with people. And that's reducing stigma in all things.
Yeah.
Because if you reduce it when you're talking about HIV, you're going to learn how to reduce it in other subjects. So like for domestic violence, you're going to have to stop asking people, why you stayed? Why you stayed? You want this. You want this. It's your fault. It's like blaming.
And I've had many, women on the show to talk about, domestic violence and their experience. And it's not because they wanted to stay. It's not because, even though, let's be honest, you do have some people that are, for lack of a better term, gluttons for punishment. But it's not because they wanted to be in that situation.
Right.
They were trying to figure out a way to get out.
Yeah, so for instance, I'll say, okay, there's a lot of restraining orders. They still end up dead. Louisiana has the highest homicide of domestic abuse, domestic homicide. Louisiana's top there too. So even when you get out, you're still killed. So all of that question, why you stayed? When I get out, I'm still killed. So to address all of that, let's not continue blaming people, degrading people. Let's understand a little bit compassion and sympathy. If you're going to have compassion for a Nazi, you're supposed to have compassion for everybody else.
Those are great things that you have stated. While you were talking, I kept hearing sin. The way that people will look at church, and it's not to offend anyone. 'Cause I go to church, but I realized, and even working in the field that I worked in with OBGYN, stigma.
Coming to you, Mike.
They would talk about it in the office, in the back, or there would be conversations where people would run to the back, and this is this person and things of that nature. And my response, and even today, is still, you have to meet people where they are and show them God's love. Whether you believe in God or not, love, LOVE.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter what you have. It doesn't matter what you do not have. Like, just show people that you are genuine and that you are compassionate. That was one of the words that you said. Like, we should be walking in love and in compassion.
Yeah.
But sometimes we get caught up in this is a sin. Your sin is bigger than my sin. So we're not going to discuss topics that will expose me, but we can expose those things that you shouldn't have been doing. But just because you were out there, quote unquote, fornicating or having another, like other sexual relationships, we're going to put that on the table, but we're not going to talk about stealing. We're not going to talk about demoralizing or disrespecting our neighbors. So I believe that's where a lot of that comes from, because people want to point out things in others, but they don't want to address the things in themselves.
3 fingers that point back.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think more so it's like looking at the fact that we are all sinners at some point. We're not perfect, but just show people love, because you never know what people are actually going through.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be the reason why somebody's walking around hurt, stressed out, depressed. I've been there.
Right.
So that's where the compassion comes from.
Yeah.
So that's why I say, baby, I'm a hugger. I'm going to hug you. I'm going to show you love.
Yeah.
But I believe that's one of the reasons why. And I hope that we all would learn to walk in compassion and with love for one another.
Right,
I think it's a whole lot of ignorance, and not to call anybody ignorance, but it's ignorance that, we don't have these conversations, because we are from back in the days where it was, we don't talk about this, we don't talk about that, we keep it in the household, but you have to have the conversations. And back when Essence Fest used to do the testing, I went to Essence Fest just to get tested.
Right there.
Literally every year, I'm like, let me go to the HIV line, let me go get to the AIDS line and get tested. It was just a highlight, and I wanted to make my friends know, hey, look, don't be afraid to go get tested. Oh, I'm scared. Well, wouldn't you want to know though?
Right.
So that you can protect either yourself and others, and even on December 1st, I post about it.
Yeah, worries.
And I'm like, I don't have it, but I want everybody to be okay with talking about the things that don't affect them. Right now, it does not affect me. I'm not, I don't have
dealing
it.
with that, right?
But at least I can share and talk about it. And people say, well, who do you know? I don't know anybody with AIDS. I know a few people with HIV, but I don't know anybody. But that doesn't stop me from opening a conversation, talking about it, sharing it. No problem.
With HIV, thank you.
Oh, no problem.
Right, and that's where the advocacy for all comes in. If we don't talk about it, we won't be able to solve anything.
Yeah.
We won't.
And so you can indirectly, address it. Some of the things I say to people, if you're going to, I'm not used to talking about condoms. Let me use this example. When I talk to my women, whatever race it may be, I say, you should know how to put on a male condom. Not just relying on the man to put on a condom. And if you use toys, that should have a condom too. If you're same sex, meaning you have a woman lover, wife, or whatever, you're using condoms.
Right.
And just that whole education part of it. So what I've learned too, is that you have to have a discussion about discussing condom usage. Because we get in a moment, they look good, and we're active, and we just do our thing without thinking about future consequences. Or if we think about it, we think about it after
the fact.
It happens. So in the beginning, it's like, how you doing? My name is Tamasha. I have a son. I like this. I like traveling. I like this. And when I do decide to have sex, we get tested, and I use condoms in the beginning. So those are the kind of conversations that are helpful to help reduce the spread of anything that can be spread sexually. And even with the fact that, as Sonia mentioned, when people are using substances, whatever the substance may be, because you can crush and melt stuff down and put it in a needle, whatever the substance may be, we're talking about harm reduction. So, I don't inject, but I still need to talk to my people that are injecting. And here's how you reduce the transmission of not only HIV, but hepatitis.
Yeah.
If we need to be honest with ourselves too, hepatitis C, we have more cases of hepatitis C annually than we do HIV. We have more cases of the other STDs, STIs than HIV. So, for instance, one of the latest stats showed less than 900 new cases of HIV, but you're talking about 30,000 cases of chlamydia in Louisiana. You're talking about 12,000 cases of gonorrhea. You're talking about less than 2,000 cases of syphilis. And then Hep C has its own number too, which is more than HIV. It's in the thousands. So when we stigmatize HIV and say it's only black folks, even if Sonya is screaming off the mountaintop, when you talk about Hep C, the leading person that's getting Hep C is the white male.
Correct.
So the education component of it. And one of the things I also talk to black women too, and be mindful, I don't just talk to black women, or we don't just talk to black women, is the cases in our category are going up. So love, all that stuff we like in our relationships, that's great. We deserve that. We need that. But we also need to have a conversation of, when did you get tested?
Yeah.
Let's go get tested together. And if they get mad about it, that's a big red.
That's a big red flag. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know.
And honestly, right now our numbers are going up in.
Can you repeat that? I didn't hear you. What did you say?
The numbers are rising in, and I want to say self-identified heterosexual black males. The numbers are rising there too, and it's a coincide. It goes right with it.
Yeah.
And that's why I personally, and usually I'll talk about normalizing testing.
Yeah.
My personal opinion is anyone having sex should be tested.
Oral, anal, vaginal, and you even have to be careful about finger sex.
Thank you.
Right.
All of it, because things can travel. Certain things, HIV does not live outside the body.
Yeah.
Once it hits air, but everything else can. Some things it's just on. You can get.
Sonya's being nice. Let me give you an example.
But keep it
Because
clean.
I'm gonna keep it clean.
Right.
Yes, sir. I want you to have your job
All
on.
right.
She's being nice. No, I'm not gonna use curse words. I'm just using an example.
Right.
So we used to be inside illegally inside of the strip club. When I say illegal, you're not supposed to pass out condoms inside the strip club, and you're not supposed to be doing testing. But some of the owners of the strip clubs allowed us in there because they understood the reality of things. Right? So we used to have to explain, when we used to talk to the owner and some of the dancers about if a dancer has gonorrhea, chlamydia, things like that, and whoever your customers see, if they're touching, and there's a
exchange,
yeah,
right,
and they wipe their eyes or their mouth, there's such a thing as gonorrhea in the eyes, gonorrhea in the throat,
and a lot of people don't think about that.
Yeah,
because it's
so
not as
just
common.
that, right? It's very common. It's just medical field is catching up with what's reality.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So when you typically test for things like gonorrhea and chlamydia, you do a urine test. But now you have to do swabs in the anus and in the throat, because that's what they're catching up to. Like, let's just go beyond the urine test. Let's do the other areas. So just understanding all of that, what's going on, and the educational purposes of all of that, because it's like, oh, I didn't do that, because when we talk about sex, we talk about penetration. And when you talk about in context of these diseases or infections, it's deeper than that, because you don't have to have penetration type sex to get herpes.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Medical herpes. So when you get that information and that knowledge, that helps reduce the stigma, and hopefully that helps with us being accountable for our actions. Right. If not, it's time for us to look at other ways to do it. Because a lot of us don't even understand some of the ways these STIs are transmitted. So that's the key too, lack of knowledge that's tearing us up.
I just did oral. I only did oral. I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Right.
So if we're testing and we say, have you had sex, and then there's however the question go, and then when we say, have you had oral sex in the last 12 months or 5 years, and they'll say yes, but then they'll say, I haven't had sex. So it sounds weird to us, but then that's an indication that we need to have the conversation about, this is sex and this is modes of transmission.
Yeah.
All right, so you know what? We got to go to our second break, so hang tight, all right?
Yes.
This is Conversations with Ron Richardson on WBOK 1230 AM, streaming worldwide on WBOK1230.com and also on YouTube. Ladies, tell them where they can get in contact quickly.
Instagram, HIV Prevention Mobsters. Facebook, HIV Prevention Mobsters. Yes, like the mafia. Mobsters.
Sonia Milliman on any of the social media, 716-238-3555. It is a do not use alone number.
Latoya?
But it's my personal.
Rare Breed _7 on Instagram and Latoya Chanel on Facebook.
And last but not least, Angie.
SincerelyAngieM.com.
All right, we'll be right back after this. Stay tuned. This is Conversations with Ron Richardson on WBOK 1230 AM, streaming worldwide on WBOK1230.com.
That's right. It's party time each and every Sunday night at 7 p.m. on WBOK. It's the Throwback Throwdown with DJ Wick as he brings you the best in old school from the 70s, 80s, 90s, and the early 2Ks. Plus, the party goes to another level at 9 p.m. with the Throwback Throwdown Party Mix to round out the night. It's the Throwback Throwdown Sunday nights at 7 p.m. on WBOK and on the World Wide Web at WBOK1230.com.
Are you looking for the next burlesque sensation? Searching for some prime entertainment on a Sunday night? Well, come down to the Always Lounge as Scarlett Letta presents Show Me Your Noobs. You'll see the finest new entertainers performing burlesque, drag, and a variety of acts that will tease, titillate, and delight you. We're here every third Sunday of the month. Come catch the most raved about show in New Orleans that no one has ever heard of until now. Show Me Your Noobs. It's the perfect night out, whether you're a burlesque regular or sharing your first time with us. Show Me Your Noobs will leave you breathless.
Missed a show? Want to hear that guest everyone's talking about? WBOK is now streaming on all your favorite podcast apps. Just search WBOK Media, hit download, share with a friend, and don't forget to rate your favorite shows 5 stars. Because when our voices are heard, our impact grows.
Ron Richardson here. If you are like me, that means you love the feeling of getting a fresh haircut and shave. If you do, then you should check out my friends Eddie and Dana Bunch at First Impressions Barber and Beauty Salon, specializing in hairstyles for men, women, and children. If you want to make a good first impression, you should check out First Impressions Barber and Beauty Salon located at 618 Westwood Drive in Marrero or call 504-341-6777. Remember, it's never too late to make that first impression at First Impressions Barber and Beauty Salon.
New Orleans, you want to know what we're talking about? Tune in every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on WBOK for Conversations with Ron Richardson. The topics will always be hot and the conversation will be all the way live. Meet us there. We'll save you a seat. We can also talk about you and your business as a sponsor of Conversations with Ron Richardson. Contact Ron at 504-874-4584 or email him at richardsonronald024@gmail.com for more details.
Hey WBOK 1230 family, this is Angie from the Sincerely Angie podcast. Make sure you're tuning in every Saturday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. to Conversations with Ron Richardson, where the conversations are all the way live and informative. Conversations with Ron Richardson every Saturday on WBOK 1230 a.m.
WBOK. Listen now on WBOK1230.com.
Thanks for listening to Conversations with Ron Richardson, live on WBOK, and listen online at WBOK1230.com. Now, back to Ron.
Welcome back. This is Conversations with Ron Richardson on WBOK 1230 AM, streaming worldwide on WBOK1230.com. Hit us up, drop us a line, 504-582-9422, 582-9422, and I have the beautiful ladies of the community in WBOK studios.
We gonna be good.
All right, please.
See, I'm back here.
No, but nonetheless, man, we're talking about a very important, very serious topic: HIV, AIDS prevention, just overall women's health. So I'm gonna kick it over to Latoya. You've worked in the medical field for many years, and I want you to piggyback off of what Sonia said. What are some of the things that you have seen?
A lot. Let's see. fights in the parking lot with baby mamas and baby daddies, and
Right.
having to counsel, like, really a lot. When it comes to HIV, I did see it. I was one that counseled inside of the room to new exposure. I was educated at that point during pregnancies to know that when mom is taking medication and she goes undetected and things of that nature, we have HIV negative babies born into the world. But going back a little bit to the stigma, it would make mom who does not have the knowledge and awareness of it being transferred to her depressed
Really?
and distraught. And one thing that I did not know when I was pregnant with my twin daughters is that when you are carrying trauma, that can actually pass on to your children.
You mentioned that before.
Yes. And that was some of the things that I used to counsel and pray on with moms. But it was just people, again, knowing that you love them and that it doesn't matter because I just received a positive test result. I can live with this. It helps them to be able to move on swiftly. I'll be honest, even on the outside world of the doctor's office, I have a really good friend, one of my best friends that has been living with HIV. And I was one of the first person that was called. And I'll never forget that day. It was like I felt what he felt. But I'm thankful because I was the safe space for him. Yeah. Just imagine if I was that friend that just stigmatized him and made him feel like he was crap and beat him up. It was nothing but love. Yeah. And here, I'm here for you, and I'll walk through this with you, with your parents. But people go through a whole lot because it's so much in that, thinking about what family's going to have to say, what my parents will say, what they will think about me. It's so many different thoughts that run through people's mind that people definitely need to look into their mental health. Yeah. With anything that they incur and come against. So again, I'll go back to that compassion because the rates, especially when it comes to HIV, is high. I saw that our queens, they were not knowledgeable. They thought that life had to come to an end, and suicide was always at the forefront. You just don't know what people are going through.
Right.
So it was good to actually be a part of some of that sometimes because I can just imagine how people felt going into places or how they may feel when people don't have good bedside manners in medical practices. And I tell people, not everybody deserves to be a nurse, neither a doctor.
Yeah.
Because you have to operate in compassion because you don't know, again, what that person is actually going through.
Yeah.
And that has been, one of the things that I've experienced also, being differently able, I'm using the term having limited ability. When you go to a lot of these doctors, especially new doctors, they don't understand.
Yeah.
Because I can remember a time where I don't know exactly what it was. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I went to a doctor, and she was like, "Well, there's a certain medicine that some people with cerebral palsy take. It's called baclofen, and there's a pump that they can surgically put inside of you to for the medicine to constantly administer." So she's talking to me and she's like, "Well, I really think that you need this." And I'm like, "Well, how old are you?" And I told her my age and everything, and she was like, "Well, I think this would be beneficial." And I'm like, "Well, even though I have cerebral palsy, like I do a lot of things that I mean, I'm in the streets,
right?
So it's like when she told me that, I'm like, "Ma'am, I'm moving and shaking, and if this gets surgically put in me, how would this affect me in the long run?" And she was like, "Well, it's gonna have no side effects." And I'm like, "That's BS because the way I move."
Yeah.
And Angela knows, like, I move, so I mean, I knew it was gonna literally slow me down rather than be beneficial to me. And sometimes, like I'm gonna say it again, we have to advocate
for yourself,
for ourselves, man. Because if we don't, we get caught up in the medical field
Right.
as just
And that's the
another
thing that's
guinea
being
pig.
worked on
Right.
in the HIV arena. Getting the medical providers, whether it be doctors, nurses, or even like community-based organizations, when you see your patients, whether even if they're not living with HIV,
Right.
like you go to the gynecologist, that's a moment to introduce PrEP.
Yeah.
If you see your doctor that you love, that's a moment to introduce PrEP. Even in urgent care, when they're asking all these questions, do you smoke? Do this? What medication? That's an opportunity to introduce PrEP. When you're in your medical portal, that's an opportunity to introduce PrEP. So we are actually there's not all providers, but there's quite a few providers, including ourselves, that are talking to the medical professionals, especially in New Orleans and other parts of the state, to have those conversations. So it's a good thing, like what was said, is to have that compassion.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. Education and compassion, and it'll take us far.
All right, man. So, in closing, does anyone have any positive words of encouragement to pass along to my listening audience?
Just get tested. Know your status.
Yes.
Right.
Every person is HIV possible.
That's good. I like that.
Latoya, quick.
Walk in compassion.
All right, and Angie.
I would say just advocate for yourself and also advocate for those, even if it doesn't affect you.
All right. This has been Conversations with Ron Richardson on WBOK 1230 AM, streaming worldwide on WBOK1230.com. I will see you guys same time, same place, same bad channel next week for another great episode of Conversations. Peace and love. Talk to you soon.
God bless. God bless.
Yes.
WBOK online at WBOK1230.com.